Let's now quickly move on to the other big issue that we are focusing on here on Urban Debate this evening. Remember, reversing the decision of the previous BJP government, the Maharashtra Chief Minister Udhav Thackeray has taken a clear and categorical decision in favor of moving the metro car shed from the Aarey Colony to another area called Kanjurmarg. Now, this was very much considered in the previous BJP regime as well. However, the BJP did not take that decision to move the car shed out of the Aarey Colony despite massive protests around it to preserve Mumbai's green lungs. So we are today looking at this issue from the perspective of whether this is a good enough decision, whether this actually converges the conflict that we have seen between environment, conserving and preserving environment, and the developmental projects that have to take place for the economy to get a boost. Can there be a convergence with this new decision that the Udhav Thackeray government has taken? So that's the issue we are looking at. The decision was communicated during an online address, and it came just days after the Aarey coalition government withdrew cases against students and activists who, remember, had protested extensively against the felling of trees. So my question today would be, can there be a price attached to Mumbai's green lungs? Because that is what the Aarey Colony is. One side argues that this was actually a barren land, and even if the number of trees were felled, there were new saplings planted. And if we really toss it against and compare it to the major advantage that a city like Mumbai would get with the metro coming in, remember, this is a city bursting in the seams, people travel packed like sardines in the local train. So we need a metro project urgently. We do not have the luxury of postponing a project also. So under the circumstances, what is the best way forward? Joining me in this discussion today, let me introduce my guest this evening. Mahesh Tapse, spokesperson of the NCP, Devyani Khankoje, spokesperson of the BJP, Zoru Bhathena, environmentalist, and also Nitin Kilawala, who's an architect and an urban planner, also has a fresh proposal about what the MVA government or the Udhav Thackeray government can do in this regard. So I want to go across first to Mahesh Tapse. Mahesh Tapse, you are a spokesperson of the NCP, and what is interesting is that NCP's position has consistently changed. Initially, your corporator Kaptan Malik had written a letter to the commissioner objecting to the plan. Then, of course, you voted in favor of the proposal. Now, as part of the MVA government, Aarey government in Maharashtra, what is your position on this matter?
Good evening, Afrida and all viewers. Let me say on record that our position has not been shifting. Only our man who was in charge of the voting and our councillor, Mr. Kaptan Malik, probably he didn't have the right idea as what the party line was. But if you see, when the trees were felled and the environmentalists of Mumbai, they are gathered around Aarey. So Supriya Sule, who is the MP of from Baramati, and also the Dr. Mr. Sharad Pawar, she was in the forefront in opposing the felling of trees. She stood by the people of Mumbai, the environmentalists, all the ecological groups who were there to protest against the metro car shed. So she was there. If she was there, the party was there. Jitendra Awad, who's a minister in the current government, was also there. He was arrested by the Mumbai police. And time and again, we mentioned the party definitely said that whatever is in the interest of ecology, whatever we can do to safeguard the green lungs of Mumbai, we must do. We have a very sizable, we have got a very small presence as far as our presence in the Mumbai Municipal Corporation is concerned. So we have very few numbers in Mumbai Municipal Corporation. We are more of an agrarian party, more outside Mumbai into the hinterlands, into the farming areas. So the moment it was seen that this issue has cropped up and Mumbai is totally rejecting the felling of trees, the Aarey car shed, Supriya Sule ran to the forefront and she said nothing doing, no trees will be felled. She stood by the activists. She was manhandled by the cops at that time. We have all the footages, we have seen, and then subsequently, even Kaptan Malik at that time, he had a dilly-dallying situation. He had to follow the party line. And yes, in November, when we formed the government, the first assurance which was given by our CM, Mr. Udhav Thackeray, that the Aarey Metro project will be scrapped, will be shifted out of Aarey. Our environment minister, the young Aditya Thackeray, he earmarked that 800 acres of land will be a permanent reserved forest. Now, this is a big, big victory for all of us who are environment lovers. That 800
Okay.
acres of green lands within Mumbai is a big,
Okay.
big thing
So
for
you
us.
are saying that this is a decision taken in the interest
Lastly,
of environment. It's a pro-environment move. Politics has nothing to do with it. Let me bring in Devyani Khankoje for reaction to this. I also want to talk about what Udhav Thackeray has said because Devyani Khankoje, the primary bone of contention that BJP has in this is the cost factor, the cost escalation. In fact, that is what Devendra Fadnavis has said today throughout his tweets, talking about how this would mean an extension of 7.5 kilometers and that much more money will have to be pumped into. So your primary argument, from what I can understand, is the cost factor. So Udhav Thackeray has said that we have decided to construct the car shed on government land in Kanjurmarg, entailing no financial burden on the exchequer. Even the expenditure done on the Aarey Colony will not go waste, as it will be deployed for appropriate use. So he seems to have answered all your queries and concerns.
Let me, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Metro
Go ahead,
transport
please.
will help reduce the overall carbon emissions from
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you. Continue, please.
No, voice only.
I'm not sure whether we are getting the audio of Devyani Khankoji. So let me bring in Zoru Bhathena at this point. Zoru's also, of course, been spearheading a campaign against the metro car shed in Aarey Colony to begin with. And we've seen Zoru on a number of occasions pitching for moving the car shed out of the Aarey Colony. Zoru, I want to begin by asking you that I know that you, of course, would be happy with a decision like this. And you have also responded to Mr. Fadnavis on Twitter saying why you don't agree that Kanjurmarg is a good enough option. Can you take us through your points on why you think this is a good move?
The shift of the car depot from Aarey to Kanjurmarg is actually a win-win for Mumbai because it's being done by integrating the Metro 3 and the Metro 6 line.
Mm-hmm.
The Metro 3 line basically is from Cuff Parade to Seeps at Andheri, which is an underground line. And the Metro 6 line is an overground line, which is from Lokhandwala complex in Andheri West to Kanjurmarg in the eastern suburbs. The government has now decided that not only will they shift the depot, as was decided by the Fadnavis government in 2015. Exactly what was decided by the Fadnavis government in 2015 is being implemented today with cosmetic changes. The Metro 3 line, so if you sit at Cuff Parade, you will go all the way to the eastern suburbs. You will get a central railway connectivity. Mumbai's metro connection will improve. There are no new lines being built for this connection. Existing lines are being integrated. The metro bogies, the electric lines, the tracks, everything are being consolidated, which will give cost benefits to the metro. The fact that one consolidated depot will be made means there will be a saving on machinery, there will be a saving on manpower, because you need fewer people to handle one depot than you need people to handle two depots. You don't need to replicate the same machinery again. These cost benefits will be there for years to come. And what is the expenditure to change, to move from Aarey to Kanjurmarg? Close to zero. There is no cost involved because Metro 3 line was anyway coming up till JVLR. Now the only difference is that once it comes out of the ground, it will go on stilts instead of being on the ground. So the cost of constructing maybe 20, 30, 50 pillars to take that metro bogie out of the ground and up into the overground metro and connect it with the Metro 6 is the only additional cost. whereas the benefits are huge, the cost savings are huge. Anyone who says that
Okay.
there is any additional cost involved is just fooling us.
Okay, because you know why, Zoru, you know, even an internal committee that Mr. Udhav Thackeray had, an internal panel, also told him that there will be a cost escalation. But despite that, Mr. Thackeray has worked it out all for us and says today that there will be no additional financial burden. So we leave it at that. I'll come back to you. But I want to go back to the BJP spokesperson, who I think is back with us now, Devyani Khankoje. Yes, please carry on. I wanted to know from you that it seems the Chief Minister is thoroughly convinced there is no extra burden to the state exchequer.
By the way, this is an absolutely unfortunate decision. The project cost is going to be increased by 4,000 crores. This is estimated by the ACS Finance, under which a committee was constituted. And that too after the election, that was in October 2019. The amount 400 crore was already spent on Aarey shed, car depot shed. Thereafter, 1,300 crore was wasted due to the stay on the project. Every day, the government is losing about 4.5 to 5 crore rupees. So this is the cost. In addition to this, the Kanjurmarg land has various issues. Earlier, when the Devendra Fadnavis government decided to go for this land, it was understood that there was a High Court stay on the project, on the land. Various people have claimed the ownership of that land, and the government was asked by the High Court, Honorable High Court, to deposit 2,400 crores as on 2015. So that in case if there is a legal issue comes and the claim is settled, the government will have to pay that kind of a money to them. So that was in 2015. Today we are in 2020. The 40% project is already over. Secondly, the government has acquired this Kanjurmarg land at ₹1. I don't know how. Without paying any cost to the government, tomorrow anybody can give, claim on that land. Then what happens? So who is going to be responsible
Zoru
for
Bhathena,
this?
you want to respond to
delay
this,
of
because
so
this
much
is
of
what
money?
I think this is the kind of exchange that you've had with the former Chief Minister as well. And I think Devyani Khankoje is raising precisely the same issues. Yes, please go ahead, respond.
Secondly, it is, Secondly, it is a marshy land.
I wish you could arrange it. We have asked Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Kirit Somaya to have a face-to-face discussion with us.
Hold on, Devyani. Let's have a response. I'll come back to you.
Right.
We have called upon both Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Kirit Somaya, who've been very vocal about all this, that let's have a face-to-face debate. Let's put the facts on the table and see if there can't be two right things. Let's see who is right. Coming back to respond to each and every of these allegations that the lady from BJP made, she mentioned that 400 crores has been spent already on the Aarey depot. This itself can't be correct, because the contract given to construct the entire Aarey depot was 350 crores, out of which they have built three structures which are only RCC frames. They have made a underpass, and the entire plot of land, 30 acres of land, is mud filled. It is not cemented. There is no construction. Nothing has happened on it, because they had only 3 days to do their work. Friday, when the High Court lifted the stay, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday they got a stay from the Supreme Court. In those 4 days, they didn't construct anything in this plot of land. The construction which is standing today was constructed in 2018, where there was no trees, because they could construct it. So if the Fadnavis government spent 400 crores on doing nothing, we should question them that how did this money get spent? First issue. So that 400 crore figure is an absolute bogus figure. Now coming to the cost of moving, as I've already explained, there is no cost for extending the track, because there's already a track being built. Absolutely zero cost involved. Now let's come to the depot plot. Mr. Fadnavis and his government has been going on saying that there is a High Court order, there is a Supreme Court order, this is private property, High Court asked us to deposit 2,500 crores. My simple question is, where is that order? What case was it? Which plot of land was it? Because it has not, all these things which they're talking about has nothing to do with this depot plot. This is some bogey dispute which is created by that government. And let me give you a background to how the Fadnavis government created a dispute on this Kanjurmarg depot plot where there was none. This depot plot is a litigation-free plot. It is in the possession of the government. It is government's own land. They don't have to pay anybody for it. And this was known in 2015. When the government accepted this plot of land, they knew it is disputed free. However, on the same, this plot is very, the depot plot right now is about
Right,
100
because
acres.
Zoru, you know,
However,
even during the Fadnavis government, a number of alternatives were considered. A number of alternatives, Mahalakshmi Racecourse, BKC Ground, Kalina University, all of these things were considered. The Dharavi Sariput Nagar near JVLR and Kanjurmarg. And each of these things were ruled out for one reason or the other. And Kanjurmarg, especially the Devendra Fadnavis government thought was technically and multidimensionally a complex issue. Now, we won't go into the nitty-gritties of that. You seem to suggest that there is no extra cost, but I also want to ask you, what about the delays? Is there an issue there? Because with the delay also, there is a cost factor involved. I'll come back to you, Zoru, but I want to just go across to my other guest also on the panel, Mr. Nitin Kelawala. Okay, quickly respond, Devyani. Then I'll go to Nitin.
What I'm trying to say is this, that this 4,000 crore, it is not my own imagination. It is come out of the committee appointed by the government. The Udhav Thackeray government. It is not my own numbers. It has stated, you can go back to the government and find that report. It's not I'm deciding sitting over here. And there is a ruling by
right,
the High
which is
Court,
what I also
tribunal,
mentioned, that a panel appointed by Udhav government said that the costs incurred would be massive. It said that the metro depot shifted from its present location of Aarey will result in a massive cost escalation, not to mention a time overrun. And I'm quoting exactly from that statement. However, the committee has not expressed its opinion on whether the present location of car shed should be shifted or not. So there is an ambiguity there. It's not an all-out sort of a thing that this is not a good idea. But I want to bring in Nitin Kelawala, who's an urban planner, and also this is important for us because Nitin Kelawala, I believe that you've come up with a proposal. I want to know, have you managed to resolve this conflict that we keep hearing, because there is development on one side and there are environmental concerns. Aarey car shed is not the first issue. It won't be the last. Across India, there are these conflicts that happen. But what I'm told is that you have a plan proposal for this government, which you are going to present to Udhav Thackeray. Tell us more about it, please.
Okay, before I talk about the plan, let me say candidly that BJP representative has no right to talk about cost and no right to talk about time. The entire metro project, for that matter, any infrastructure project in last 5 years is totally politically motivated. The deadline is fixed, which is the next election, and they try to work reverse, and nothing has happened that way. Now we have been fighting with the government for last 4 to 5 years. Mr. Fadnavis has not given even a minute to talk to us. He has not even acknowledged any of our requests. And now they are talking about cost and time and all that. It is a matter of common sense that the number of metro lines you have, you need to have as many metro yards. Now, what is happening right now, they've planned some 12 metro lines, of which 6 metro lines are under construction. So they've bulldozed all the arterial roads of Bombay. And while doing this, if you can optimize, whether I optimize a line, that will also optimize my metro yard. So you look at Aarey, which is say about 25 hectares, and Kanjur is about 40 hectares. We had given this plan about 2.5 years back. That time even nothing was done in Aarey, nothing was done even on MIDC area. we had proposed a plan to take this route after Marol and taking towards Kanju via Chandivali, Saki Vihar, Hiran, etc. Nonetheless, now the fact is today we are at a situation where we have to have this metro yard which is shifted, which is a great thing. You are optimizing the entire yard. Now, metro yard is a huge industrial kind of a complex. It is spread over 20-25 hectares. So we are not only optimizing metro line by merging 3 and 6, but we are actually reducing one entire metro yard, which is more important. And about our plan, so that is
yes, and that's precisely what I wanted to know from you. That is there a win-win really? Is there a win-win in all of this? That A, we have found an alternative to the Aarey Colony, and B, we can actually address all the concerns that are raised. So can I go back to Mahesh Tapse? No, I want to go back to Mahesh Tapse, please. Just to understand that, why is it, Mahesh Tapse, that in issues like this, Mahesh Tapse, why is it that we can't have a consensus? This is an issue related to transport on one hand and environment on the other. Mumbai needs the metro. We know how bad it is for a city like this to have a robust transport system. Obviously, that focus should be there. At the same time, Aarey Colony, it's a no-brainer. This is Mumbai's green lungs. You have to protect it at all costs. But then, why is it that politics get played in this? Even now, it appears as if Udhav Thackeray wants an one-upmanship to literally show that he's done what Mr. Fadnavis could not. Is that one of the things?
I agree to what you say that Mr. Udhav Thackeray could do something that Mr. Fadnavis could not do. Mr. Udhav Thackeray and his government did save the 800 acres of green lungs of Mumbai. He saved the ecology of Mumbai. He got the land at Kanjurmarg at zero cost. The BJP spokesperson, she said, how will the government buy the government land and at what cost? So I'm sure government will buy the government land at zero cost. That's what has come in the cabinet decision. And like all the panelists, Mr. Zoru and Mr. Nitin rightly said, that all the lines have been constructed. It's just the matter of shed. So when Mumbai was fighting to save the trees, we were in an election year. Police was deployed. Activists were charge sheeted just to see that the project is going through. No political party in Mumbai is against the development of Mumbai. But at what cost? The question here is, when we ask the Devendra Fadnavis government, at what cost are you talking about development? Metro project could have come, the Kashet project could have come to any other viable place, in which yesterday, if you see the report by the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, they have said that the Kanjurmarg place is extremely viable. Although the government committee in which the government of Maharashtra officials were there, they were not in favor of this new location. But the Delhi Railway Metro Corporation, which is the largest metro rail network in the country, they were of the opinion, yes, this is a doable project. If we go to Kanjurmarg, it can be done. So the Chief Minister has taken a conscious decision to save the green lungs of Mumbai and to safeguard the future of the youngsters and the population which is going to come in another generation. So this is a very conscious decision. I do not know what 400 crores and what 4,000 crores our madam is talking about. I can ask her what happened to the 40,000 crores in the Jal Yukt Shivar Yojana when entire Maharashtra is in a dry spell and nothing seems to have come out.
Okay, let's not digress. Devyani Khankoji, I want to ask you a question. Yes. Taking what Mr. Mahesh Tapse has said, and feel free to respond and rebut what he said, but I want to ask you also in this regard that, something that the Chief Justice of the Mumbai High Court said, that you can put a price to the cost of development. You actually cannot put a price to the cost of environment. And this is significant, and our political leaders must understand this. The planet that we are going to leave behind for our children is significant. So that has to, that has to overrule sometimes the other concerns. Because at a point like this, where environmental concerns have become huge, is the cost factor the only issue that we are looking at? Because there's certain things you cannot put a price tag to something
cost
like
factor
Mumbai's
aside,
green lungs,
cost
can you?
factor aside, the 36-hectare parcel of land which was being taken over to build the car shed, all the people have gone into the court. They have gone to the Green Tribunal. They have gone to High Court. They have gone to Honorable Supreme Court. And Supreme Court has given the go-ahead for the construction of the car depot. The Devendra Fadnavis government has done entire work within the permissible rules and regulation. He's not done out of the blue anything like this. And the Shiv Sena, for example, Shiv Sena was part of the earlier government. And at that point in time, they did not say anything. Now suddenly they have changed the role and now they want to change the entire project. Can you tell me one thing? Government comes and government goes. How can you just shift the project whims and fancies of the political leaders? Tell me this. I would like to ask everybody. 40% of the construction work has already been done.
But nobody is against the metro project.
No, but
Devyani Khankoja, one thing is absolutely clear, even in this panel of experts and politicians like yourself, myself included, no one here, no one who's watching the show also would ever raise an objection to the fact that Mumbai needs a metro car rail and Mumbai needs it urgently. So nobody is disputing that.
Whatever the trees were cut, 3 times the trees have been replanted. The big trees were uprooted and replanted somewhere else. The entire process has taken place within the rules and regulation under the under the order of the High Court.
Okay.
So how can you say that suddenly?
Okay, so you are saying that whatever you did in your tenure was very much within procedure. There is nothing that you did which can be questioned during your time. Zoru Bhathena, you would like to respond to that, please?
I want to ask Devyani.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
After Zoru. I'll speak after Zoru.
Yes. The first thing for all of us to remember is that this entire tree cutting happened through the night, through the day and the curfew. Yes. Nobody works legal things by police force in the dark of night. The only people who work in the night are people who do dishonest things. First issue to remember. Second issue to keep in mind is that the Supreme Court gave a stay on the tree cutting. If there was anything legal about the project, the Supreme Court would not have opened a vacation bench, opened up during Dussehra vacation and given a stay for the Aarey forest. And there was a question regarding delays. Very, very important to keep in mind is what is being implemented in 2020 was already possible in 2015. If there is any delay, first of all, I'm very sure there won't be any delay. If there was a delay, it is the Fadnavis government who took 5 years and did nothing about it by making all sorts of excuses and to reach this point. So if there's any delay, any cost escalation, Mr. Fadnavis should ask himself how he is going to pay for it.
Right. I want to go across to Nitin Kilawala one more time to understand, Mr. Kilawala, since you are an expert with urban planning, and let's have a sane understanding of the issue at hand and not just make it political or blame one government or the other, because these are issues a country like ours will have to deal with time and again. Like I've said, I want to know from you, is there a set procedure that one can follow? Is there a template that should be followed when it comes to issues of this nature? And would it stand, the scrutiny of town planning, what Mr. Udhav Thackeray has proposed? Because he's also declared 800 acres as a green area, as declared as forest in the Aarey Colony. Is there a catch in all of this? Because, in the cost-benefit analysis, this has to again pass scrutiny, isn't it?
Precisely. So, first of all, we have a fantastic opportunity to revamp our roads, to revamp our public transport system. You cannot see metro in isolation. More so, just line 3 or line 6 or line 2 and so forth. We have to integrate all the metros which are proposed with existing road conditions, roads, and most importantly, bus routes. there is no planning whatsoever for metro buses, which may connect, shorter distances, maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. That is what we are actually trying to integrate. We are also trying to make this plan, which is feasible phase-wise. Another very important thing is, as you mentioned, that cost benefit. That is the prime concern. This metro, we are constructing not for you and me. It is for our children's grandchildren. There was no necessity to make such a grand VT station 150 years back, but it still works. Are we really taking proud of whatever has been done in terms of infrastructure? It is so pathetic. And we have all the expertise in the city. So why can't we take help of that and do something much better, which we can look forward? You look at T2 terminus, international terminus, and just 200 meters, we have got airport metro station. See the difference between the two. This is the mindset that anything for aam aadmi is hota hai, chalta hai. I think it has to stop. And it is better that political parties should keep away from this. They are given their wisdom of what they want to do. And let city planners take it forward. They know their city better.
Absolutely.
So the short point is, these are the projects which are meant for over 100 years. It has to be integrated. It has to be have due respect to all modes of transport. And we can even integrate, like in line 3 they themselves have done. They've connected very efficiently Churchgate to VT to Bombay Central, Dadar, BKC, etc. So why it cannot be done all over? And as a commuter, you would always prefer to have shorter routes and more efficient routes. Now for example, line 6 is running just 3 kilometers
parallel. Public transport is something that must be robust, like it is in the advanced world. And Mumbai, being the financial capital, needs it urgently. And yes, and it can be made environmentally viable. We are progressive enough to work out a plan that is a win-win. Let's hope this decision is a win-win, like Zoru wants us to believe. But of course, there are difference of opinion on an issue like this. What I cannot understand, though, is why is it that political parties cannot build consensus around matters like this? One can understand ideological differences on other issues, but here it is about environment, it is about public transport. Why is it that for the sake of Mumbai and Mumbaikars, political parties cannot converge and come to a stated position, an agreed position on this matter? And I do hope we'll see that day, sometime down the line, where all parties agree what is best for the Mumbaikars. Let's hope that the decision that is in favor of Mumbaikars, in favor of the planet, sees the light of the day. I would like to thank all my panelists for joining us here on Urban Debate this evening, and thanks to all our viewers for watching.